Hi, friends. Welcome to a whole new season of Off the Bike. This season, I'm extremely excited to welcome you in a whole new way, as now you have the ability to watch and or listen to me and my guest. On this season's podcast, we're getting real, we're getting raw, and we're getting emotional, learning about the people that are in the studio with us day in and day out. What makes them unique? What's their story? Where do they come from? Today's episode is exactly just that. As we kick off a new season, I'm excited to introduce you to Kenzie Skye. She's an instructor at our East Liberty location. She's gone through quite a few storms over the last year. She's standing here today. She's still teaching incredible classes, and it's time for you to hear her story. Welcome to a whole new episode and season of Off the Bike. Let's go. Welcome to today's podcast of Off the Bike. I'm super happy to have our guest, Kenzie, with us. Kenzie, we got so many things to talk through today, and I'm super excited for everyone to listen in and hear a little bit more about you. What brought you to Zenergy? What motivates you? What drives you? What fuels you up? Things that have happened in life recently. So I feel like there's no better place to start than you just letting everyone know who you are and a little bit about you.
Yeah, thank you. I'm really excited to be here. This is such a cool opportunity to dive in and talk about some things that, light both of us up, light all of our riders up. But I'm Kenzie. I work at the East Liberty studio. I've been an instructor there since January of this year. So I'm coming up on a full year, which time kind of flies, but it also feels like I've been there forever.
Time flies.
Yeah. I've only been living in the Pittsburgh area for about 3 years now. So when I moved to Pittsburgh from San Diego, California, where I'm from, I found Zenergy because I was looking for a place to get back into fitness, meet some like-minded people, meet other strong men and women. And honestly, like the rest is history from that point on. Once I found it as a rider, it was a little less than a year before I kind of knew like, okay, I want a bigger part to play here.
Yeah. So I want to dive into that here in a little bit. But before we do, now that you've been teaching for almost a year, what does it feel like these days to walk into the studio and teach a class?
Yeah, that's a really good question because now it's like it's an empowering and also very comfortable feeling. Whereas like in January, less than a year ago, it was very intimidating. Like my nervous system would light up when I came for class just to make sure that everything went perfect, as perfect as possible, that I didn't mess up in front of a room full of people. But over time, like it's become this really interesting thing where I feel this like yin and yang balance in the studio, where I'm getting like this positive influx of energy from the people there in the experience, but also I'm getting this release of negative energy every time. Yeah. And I think that's really been letting go of some of that imposter syndrome when we're a leader in a new craft. And like letting some of those fears go out of your brain, because once you have your own style and start to have fun, like the entire experience changes.
I want to dive so deep into that experience, especially, you were riding and then also now becoming an instructor, about to celebrate a year. But I kind of want to go back in time just a little bit. We don't have to go all the way back to the beginning because we'll be here for days, weeks, and years.
To my birth.
Yeah, we don't need to go all the way back, but you mentioned San Diego. So I want to kind of go back to what, like 3,000 miles away it is, or something crazy like that. Yeah, something crazy. Why don't we jump back to those days before Pittsburgh and tell me like what you remember about that time in your life, and why don't you paint the scene of San Diego for me? Because listen, I've never been to San Diego, but I
Oh,
hear that it is like the weather is like chef's kiss. So
it
I need
is.
I need you to tell us a little bit about San Diego.
Yeah. I remember everything. You don't forget growing up in a place like San Diego. I feel very grateful, especially as an adult living in Pittsburgh now. It's as geographically amazing as everyone says. I mean, you're living in beautiful weather all the time. Where I grew up, you were within an hour to the sea, the mountains if you skied, and then out into the desert. So you're in like this beautiful triangle of natural playgrounds, which lended myself really well to a life of being super active, being outdoors, getting really excited to have like new natural experiences. But yeah, I grew up there. I loved growing up there. I was a water child. I swam, played water polo. And then I came to Pennsylvania because I ended up getting a water polo scholarship to play at Mercyhurst University. So about 2 hours north of Pittsburgh. I ended up meeting my fiance there. He was an all-American heavyweight wrestler, big active guy as well. And I mean, it was a dream. Once we both graduated, we moved back to San Diego together. So I got to go home as an adult. And, I'm young, in love. We're there. We're starting our lives. We're working. And
Yeah.
oh, it was, I mean, beautiful. Like you can't take those experiences away. At the time I was teaching like paddleboarding classes, hit classes, yoga classes on paddleboards, like finding my niche of like what I wanted to do with fitness and where I could give my energy. But in the end, we were out there for a couple of years and we came to this conclusion that our friends are really like our family and our support system. We come from broken homes. We didn't have anyone out west from my family who was still there. So we took this chance and we decided to pack up our car, pack up our dog, and just drive that 3,000 miles and start a new chapter.
That is crazy. Now, is he from near Pittsburgh or where is he from?
Yeah, he's from the town that we went to school in. So up in Erie,
Okay.
Pennsylvania.
Okay, cool. And then before you moved over here for school, had you ever been over this way before?
Nope, not once.
No,
I
never.
had seen snow twice in my life.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
That's crazy. And so you move all the way across the country for school at first, and you're here for school. You meet your partner. Then you all go back to San Diego. You're in San Diego for a few years, and then you're back in Pittsburgh after that again.
Yep.
Crazy.
That's the nutshell version. Yeah.
Now, okay. So I've always thought it would be so cool to get in a car and drive across the country. Can you tell me a little bit about that experience? Because I'm very curious.
Yeah. It was quite the chaotic journey, but I will say, like, I wouldn't trade it for the world. There was something to be said for taking a risk and just really going for it and not letting things hold us back. So like we packed up that car, and as far as like the road trip, oh my gosh, it was so long. We had to stop in Texas. We were sleeping at rest stops, like bundled up in our car.
So I was gonna ask, like, did you plan stops along the way, or how did you, like, what was the thought behind that?
Yeah, so my father now lives in Texas, who my dad's one of
Okay.
my best friends. He's incredible. I
Okay.
could talk a whole podcast episode about my dad if we want that someday.
If he's listening, hi, Dad.
Oh, he probably will. But we did make a stop in Texas, so a big halfway stop in Texas, and then we kind of continued up the path to Pennsylvania. So we got a one big stop for a couple days. But other than that, it was rest stops, gas station breakfast, and lots of coffee.
Easy. I mean, I know it's kind of cliche to ask this, but like, did you learn anything on that road trip? Like, were there any lessons that you learned?
Yeah, definitely. I mean, it's very scary to completely change your life and change your geography, but basically like change your whole world if you change the
Yeah.
city you're living in. And I think we're all kind of programmed as human beings to seek a lot of comfort and familiarity in people and places. And being able to be a beginner and take a risk is a real superpower because it's terrifying and everything in our brain's going to tell us to stay where we're comfortable.
Yeah.
So I think it was just one of those points as an adult where I learned, okay, you can really do anything you want. Like that is a very powerful feeling to think like, oh, I have the free will to change my course of life. And if it doesn't end up the way I hope it's going to end up, I've got me wherever I go. So I
Yeah.
think it just gave me a lot of confidence in taking risks later in life.
And I mean, I think I'm so glad you said that because that's exactly kind of where I was heading. You're packing the car, you're driving all the way across the country. And though you had both lived over this way before, this was a completely new start. I mean,
Yeah.
it's a whole new experience. So, I mean, there's got to be something a little bit freeing about that for sure, right?
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, there's a lot of freedom in that. Like taking risks, leaping into the unknown, like you learn more about yourself than ever when you're in your comfort zone. So like no matter how messy or unplanned it is, like it'll make you a more self-assured person. And I do feel like it did that for me
Yeah.
because
I mean, it almost has to, right? I mean, you're in a completely new city,
yeah.
new people. I'm sure you had some connections. I mean, I'm sure, but mostly brand new.
Yeah. Yeah, I had like two of my best friends here and a couple of his closest friends here, but you can't put all your eggs in one basket. You can't expect one person to make your social life for you. So it really was a new slate.
Yeah.
And that stays deep inside you when you get to build something from scratch. Like it's one of the reasons I've stayed here now for 3 years is because of what I've been able to build here.
Yeah. How, like, and maybe this is where Zenergy comes into play a little bit, but how did you build that, like, you're starting over from scratch. How did you build this group of people that like support you and lift you up and motivate you to wake up each day other than your partner? Like, where did you find that?
Yeah, that's a really good question. That's a complicated question too, because I think it happens in little bits over time. And it happens every time that you decide to take a risk on a person or you take a risk on a new activity or a new hobby. So, like, I think that's where Zenergy came in for me is that, and I'll be like, this is how I found Zenergy was like, I was on ClassPass, kind of like searching for cool studios. I was like, I wanted something to try. I didn't know what I was going to be into out here. And one of the girls who I knew in the city said, I want to take you to my favorite spin studio. It's really fun. They're going to do a Post Malone themed class tomorrow. I was like, okay, fun. That sounds great. And you go in, and I came into Zenergy first as a rider when I had no idea even how to clip into a bike. Like anyone who started at Zenergy knows, like it takes multiple classes to get comfy with just that.
That's like the worst part, I think.
The worst
Like,
part.
the
Because it's
worst part.
embarrassing. You're like,
Yeah.
my stupid foot.
People will like jam their foot in, and I'm always like, it's okay. Like, I really think this is the hardest part of the class.
It is. It definitely is. And like, I was there and I'm competitive. I work out all the time and I can't stay up in a run as long as everyone else. And I'm like, what the heck, man? But I was getting this feeling when I was leaving there and people were, talking to me, like the instructors were connecting with me. And I felt this feeling, that when I was leaving there, okay, like this feels like a place where a feeling is being built. Like this isn't just a workout. Like I'm getting more from this than just my physical exertion is out. And, that can be really powerful. So I think that kind of it kickstarted everything inside of me. Like, okay, this is my place where I think I'm going to find some physical and mental exertion. But what sets Zenergy apart, and because you've created this environment, is that spiritual side. And to have a spiritual outlet and a social outlet amongst all those other things, like that's a reason to stick around.
Yeah. It's, you're an athlete, and so you've moved your body your whole life. Obviously, there's something other than moving your body that kept you in that space, which was music, which I want to talk about in a second because
Yeah.
you and I have a shared hobby
Yeah.
of music. And so I want to talk about that. But had you ever been to an indoor cycling studio before Zenergy, or was Zenergy literally the very first time you had been to a studio?
I had been to one Soul Cycle class when I went to
Okay.
visit an old girlfriend from college. So pretty much from brand new. Like it
Yeah.
was completely new as a workout. I mean, my pelvic bone was sore for a week and a half after my first class.
Yeah. I always like to ask people because, there's so many riders, instructors, team members, and everybody has their unique first time experience story. Some are really, really great, and some are like, I'm never coming back again. And then they end up coming back, they end up working for us, whatever it may be. But I always love to hear where people come from, like just in the cycling world, because
Yeah.
in the way I see it is everybody kind of intertwines and builds one story together. And that one story is energy. What
Yeah.
kept you coming back? Because anybody can do one thing once, but
Mhm.
like what kept you coming back into that space as a rider?
Yeah, there were two things really that I remember just at that first class time. And it's funny because this seems like such a small detail, but I realize now it's actually much more important when you think about it. We talked about clipping in the bike. I didn't know what to do with the clip. Like I'd never done that before. It wasn't even my friend or the instructor who helped me clip it. It was the girl to my right. Just like an experienced rider that she's
Yeah.
like, hold on, your right foot's not in right. Okay, there you go. It's those little things where like we show for group fitness a lot of time and it's just a box to check off on our list. This felt like a part of my day. And so I was willing to spend the effort and the time, even having a busy adult schedule and another job, to be like, I am going to build that in because it was one, like I'm feeling this sense of like, we're all in something together and it's bigger than a workout. And the second thing is, I think that the studio and the musicality that's the focus of Zenergy spoke to me because we're going to talk about music so much because I have such a deep love of music and an emotional connection in my life. And so I'll say her name, Kenna Duncan, like she was my girl for a while. Like I was spending every week making sure I hit her classes because she had such the music that I loved to work out to. And I was like, how does this girl find these amazing songs? Like she's putting together these playlists that feel like a music set. So when I was getting that feeling, I was like, oh, I don't find this anywhere else.
Yeah. You hit the nail on the head. We have to talk about music now because, it makes me giddy and it is my favorite thing. I mean, and I know yours too. So, Zenergy, as you kind of just hinted at, is so music driven. I mean, after all, we
Yes.
are beat-based cycling. Can you talk about your love for music, where it started, and the whole, just give me the whole spiel on it.
Yeah, absolutely. It's so hard because like where it started, I'm sure everyone listening would have the same experience. Like our music changes shape and style over time. What we like to listen to, what we like to show people, the artists that light us up. But as far as like my journey with music, I've always loved live music. I mean, I would spend the time to go to like rock and reggae shows when I was in my earlier 20s. And my fiance, Andy, and he was big into bodybuilding in the day. And his lifting partner and him would listen to, if anyone knows Excision, is like very heavy dubstep. And at the time, when I was on the outskirts of it, I was like, they listen to crazy man. Like that's wild. Like my heart feels crazy listening to that. But, being so close together, I went to a couple live shows with them to see like dubstep for the first time. And I started to seep into the raving community. And what I think is special to remember when we talk about music and like the mirror that it holds up to the raving community is that there's this deep, deep appreciation for music, this love for your fellow man, this support for those around you, and also just the commitment to a shared experience and being present in the moment. So, like, that was crazy to find because if we think about other shows we go to where we don't feel almost like an emotional connection, you're just kind of here to hear your favorite songs. We all know the difference between certain concerts that have lit up something really deep inside of us and ones where we're just kind of there. And so Zenergy, like that play into what I was finding love in EDM and raving, like Zenergy is, and I like to say it in class too, like it is that marriage of movement and music. Everything builds up from the beat. We're guided by feelings. Like there's this unspoken commitment to the journey of the workout. You're trusting your instructor. And I just fell in love with that intangible feeling because literally the only time I've ever felt it in other places has been at those live shows, those raves where like I am feeling that connection to the people around me. We are watching just like, I hate to be dramatic about it, but I will, like history be made, like
Yeah.
music being created that you haven't heard before, that VIP, that new track. Like it all is just a feeling.
I mean, like I said, I get so giddy over
Yeah.
music. I could literally talk about music for ever, forever, forever. It's like when you're sitting at this festival or a concert and you're just like, so it's almost like nothing is happening around you. It is just the person on the stage and this group of people who share this like-minded ideas and thoughts because obviously you like the same artist.
Hmm.
And it just brings you to this space of like gratitude and awareness and love and compassion. I know people probably think I'm so crazy saying this, some
No.
of this stuff, but like
Yeah.
it. And I've been to so many different music festivals. I've put some on, even the most recent, I went to Lollapalooza, and it's like just being in that crowd, there's just this energy that's like, you really can't get it anywhere else. And so the fact that you found that at Zenergy is exactly why Zenergy was created, so that people could clip into the bike and yes, get an amazing workout, but be transformed into this like visceral experience that takes them like out of this world.
Yeah, it's incredible. And like, even like a little thing I just thought about is like, isn't it funny how like we as Energy, because like you have this deep love for like you have created this for people like me and all of our writers who come to do that. But isn't it amazing that like we have all decided and music festivals and Zenergy, like a workout with music, finding your way to music and an experience like that, we're letting ourselves be uncomfortable to get there. And like, there's something to be said for that because again, we talk about comfort zones. Like, it's very easy to just stay in your lane and do what you've always done, but you'll never enrich your life that way. And if
Never.
you get uncomfortable, like you can get to some of those things, like a festival where you're camping, you're in the thick of it, or a hard ass workout is Energy where you need to build up your skills and endurance. And then you're going to have the time of your life. You know, it's going to hit you.
Yeah. It's I mean, it's truly like just so mind-boggling in the best way possible, like the experiences and energy that we get to create for people and get to share and get to feel. I know you mentioned some artists, but I think we should tell some people listening, if they take your class, who they could expect to hear. I think we should just throw a little plug in there
Just
for some songs.
a
Yeah.
shameless plug.
Yeah,
Yeah.
just a little shameless plug.
Yeah, if you come to my classes, you're gonna hear a really wide range of things. I like to play a lot of different like micro genres of EDM. You'll hear a lot of Grizz, a lot of Zedstead. I love a lot of house artists, so you'll know the John Summits, the Dom Dollas, the Malpis of the world. Been a little bit in my sexy house era, so Beltron, Clooney. I love Sophie Tucker. Like, and if you think about it, EDM is really interesting because the more writers I meet and who kind of take a chance on my classes that maybe they're more comfortable with people who play pop and rap, like they hear some of these tracks and they want them after class. They're like, I dig that or I love that. And I was like, yeah, man, because it's still a beautiful song. You can still get ballads. And when you have that strong beat behind, you're ready to go and move your body.
There is nothing like a song that just like makes you want to do something. And do something could be anything. It could make you want to cry. It could make you want to dance. It could make you want
Yeah.
to do anything. But like those songs that help take your body on a journey are what we do so
So
well as
well.
Zenergy,
Oh,
I
yeah. I
think.
mean, I know that, like, even when we did our training to become instructors, like, if I reflect on that, like, such an intense amount of that training, like, hours and hours was spent on musicality alone and breaking down what it means to take a song in and out of context and what you can do with that feeling, like, how you can guide an experience and change it. Like, you could change a song 3, 4, 5 different ways depending on how you look at it. It
Yeah.
was a beautiful experience to do musicality training too.
It's my favorite part of training. It's the longest part of training, but it's my
Mhm.
favorite part of training because I think it is such a backbone of everything that we do at that studio.
Yeah.
Everything. So you've been back in Pittsburgh for what, 3 years?
Just about, yeah.
Just 3 years. And you've been teaching for a year.
Mhm.
How long were you writing before you started teaching?
Started writing in 2022, so only like 2 or 3 months after I moved here. I found Zenergy
Okay.
pretty quick.
Okay. And then you wrote, auditioned, became an instructor, went through the training, now been teaching for a year. There has been so much that has happened in the span of like 3 years, from driving 3,000 miles across the country. Wait, real fast, how long have you and your partner been together for?
We've been together 8 years.
Okay, 8 years. So
Yeah.
is it fair to say that you've been in the rave scene for 8 years as well? We can kind of blame him for that.
Honestly, it's been like 3 years of me being very much in the raving scene.
Okay, so not too long.
And we
Not too
found it
long.
together, really.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. So you found the rave scene together. So that creates this like connection alone of music
Yes.
and your relationship and life, which then you can bring to the bike, which we'll talk a little bit more about. But in the seasons of everything that has been of the move and transitioning, going from, my goodness, from Erie, then to San Diego, and then San Diego back to Pittsburgh, there has been so much change. But I know this year has particularly been a lot of change. And beyond just becoming an instructor, it's been a crazy year for you, right?
Yes, it has.
And do you want to talk a little bit about kind of where the year has taken you, taken your family, and where we are today?
Yeah, I really do. You know, it's funny. I think there's been some divine timing this year, and I say that because you mentioned, yeah, January was when I started instructing, and that was something I was so passionate about, so excited to do, so ready to take on that journey and give it everything I had. And at the exact same time, my fiance and we got some news that has completely changed the course of our lives in less than a year. It's something that we've opened up about with friends and family, and my strong, beautiful fiance has also given me the space to open up here because I think there's a lot of power, and he also believes as well in living your truth. And when we live our truth and share experiences, people feel less alone, not just us, but anyone listening who's going through something hard. So what happened at the beginning of this year is my fiance was diagnosed with ALS. So if you don't know, that's a nervous system disease. It affects the nerves that maintain muscle control in the body. So there's no cure. And the reality is, what that's going to do over time, neurodegeneration, all your muscles end up being affected and you lose the ability to walk, talk, breathe. It is a very hopeless thing to hear. It's a very hard thing to hear the person you love most in the world get diagnosed with. And I will say, divine timing again, like I had the studio. We'd never been happier in our entire lives. We had just gotten engaged months prior to his diagnosis. Like everything seemed like it should be up here, and then we were taken all the way down. And I'm getting a little shaky. It's hard to talk about, but it's good to say the things when your voice shakes.
Oh, 100%. I
Yeah.
think that there's, for one, thank you for sharing. I can't even begin to wrap my head around the weight and what that journey looks like. But I have to call out something that's so incredible that really inspires me about you and about your partner, who I haven't met, but I hope to very soon. And that is that you said that, like, living your truth and being honest. And I think there's something so special. We don't get to decide everything that happens to us. I wish we could sometimes. I'm sure you do too.
I do.
But there's something so special about enjoying every single moment and doing what you just said, living your truth. And so, talk about, like, we've talked in this podcast so far about music, about those shared experiences, and about, like, going on this journey of life. And I guess with all of those incredible high points, life also presents these moments of, like, I'm going to call them reflection. Is that a fair statement?
Yeah, I mean, it's reflection that comes from a complete 180, a complete change in course where you didn't make the decision and choice. And
Yeah.
I think that is the time when reflection comes in, and you're able to see things so different and, like, hold a different perspective. And you can take the hardships that happen in your life and you can let them break you. It's going to break all of us. I won't pretend there haven't been times this year when I haven't felt broken, but I'm okay. And the weight of it comes with me. It comes with me every day into the studio when I have to go be on and teach classes and perform. And it stays with me when I have to leave and be alone and go home. But when we talk about reflection, I think one thing that I put my hope in and I put my gratitude in all the time is that people go their whole lives in this world without finding love. And I mean, like, true, unconditional, I want to share and bear witness to your life and you to mine type of love. I take a lot of pride in knowing I have that and that we have that. And we've gotten to experience so much of this world together. And we've had experiences that, I mean, other people can only dream about, it seems. I like to say I have the love of legends because I feel that way. And I think it's a beautiful thing. And it's just funny that, you get dealt this hand and things are going to be hard. But also when you look at how full your life is and everything you get to experience with a person up to a point, like, how can you not sit and have gratitude and think, okay, well, I'm going to do my best to love as hard as I possibly can every day, because I just found out and got reminded that our human days are numbered. And that's everyone listening. That's not just me and him.
Yeah. It's such obviously such an emotional thing, but also such an empowering thing in the oddest ways, because you do get to wake up each day and say, you know what, I have another day here. And all of us.
All of
And
us.
it's like, I feel as though this is just me. There are some days that I just, take for granted things, I think we all do that. And, hearing things like this, it really makes you open your eyes to say, hold up, like, wait a second here. This is, like, my feet are on the ground and I'm going to make this the best day that I can. And I'm going to enjoy everything that happens today.
Right. And I mean, like, just to be able to, like, it's a tiny blessing that I get to wake up, and I swear, Nick, I think about it every day. Like, I get to dance around my house. I get to laugh as loud as my voice can carry. I get to stay out in the saddle. I get to, for an extra few seconds, and try to push my body harder. And it feels like an honor to do it now. And especially, I mean, we're an active couple. We always were. But to be able to have a new appreciation for moving your body, I honestly feel like that's enriched me as an instructor this year too. This strange dichotomy that, like, you can either take it and rise with it, or you can lay down and let it take you.
I was going to say, now, like, hearing all about your past and now you being an instructor on the bike, now movement and music have a completely different meaning for you. Is that fair to say?
Yes.
Like, it's completely different than where it was a year ago. Like, it's not even this.
Yeah.
There is so much purpose rooted in everything that you're doing now, which makes it so much more special.
That's a really good way to say it. Yeah, I mean, it changes everything. Whereas, like, I did feel like for so long, like after I stopped being an athlete, like movement was a hobby, you know? But I always saw it as a tool for life. But now, like, that feels so much more palpable because it literally is. It movement is physical, it's mental, and it's social and spiritual. Like, it has driven everything that has gotten to me where I am today. And now I feel like I have this duty, like this duty to honor it, this duty to move my body, to push everyone in a room, to push their physical and like spiritual standards of what they can be, because we have a responsibility to ourselves while we're alive and healthy. But also now I see like we have a responsibility to all of those who really wish they could, and they don't have the chance, or they're going to lose the chance because that's without our control. And what better way to honor those people than to give our energy as often and as much as we can?
And so is that what, when you walk into that studio to take a class or to teach, is that what you're taking in there with you mentally to to get you through it?
Yeah, it's funny you say "get you through it" because I'll be honest, like, Zenergy has saved me in ways that I didn't think it was going to. Everything we just talked about, you know? Like, that environment has saved me in ways, and I have this appreciation now when I walk into the studio knowing that I have, and it doesn't matter how many riders we have. That's what I've realized about instructing as well. It's like, forget the numbers for a second. If you have 5, 9 people, or 39 people, it really doesn't matter, like, that's why we're there, is to give those people, no matter how many or where they're coming from or what they're bringing, give it your all. Like, you need to give them the space to feel. And so that's what I take as my responsibility. Like, I can come here with all of my baggage, and I think it gives you an appreciation for knowing every other person you're looking at in the eyes is coming with something too. And I don't know it. No one in the
Yeah.
studio knows what's going on with me, but we're there to share and feel and come as we are and take something away that carries us into like our days and our weeks. And that's just, it just feels so powerful. Like, it literally, it makes me like, you know, that heart like warming feeling.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's, I grew up always learning. I think most of us did that. Like, you can't judge a book by its cover because you
Hmm.
never know what's really happening. I mean, this is like a perfect example of Synergy is a space. And you just hit the nail on the head so eloquently, where there are, there could be 5 people in the room. There could be one person in the room, but people are there for different reasons. And it's our job collectively to move them together in a way that moves us forward mentally, physically, spiritually. And we already talked about music. We already talked about the emotional side a little bit about how you do that. So I think how crazy that life has presented this to you. And now look at the things that you're continuing to do on a daily basis to make however long we all have in life left incredible.
Yeah.
I mean, that's just so special.
It's so special. It's so special. And like to feel your purpose so strongly like that is a blessing in itself. Like, I feel very grateful. You know, we could all sit here and we could count on our fingers all the ways that life has wronged us. But what is that going to do for our future self? Like, how will we ever become that person that we want to be? How will we ever shine? How will we ever be a leader? How will we ever learn anything new if we continue to like have, and I hate to say victim mentality because I think that word gets washed off a bunch, you know, but if we don't build that resilience and that's what the studio can give us too, is like tools to build your resilience.
Yeah. It's so crazy the impact that each human being can have on another human being,
Yeah.
you know? And I think this goes without saying, but we are here for you and the whole family. And we love you and we will always support you. Life is so beautiful and so crazy all at the same time. And the fact that you live life so eloquently, that's a compliment from me to you. And so beautifully. And in so much like enriched experiences is I think just so special.
I really appreciate that.
Yeah.
And I mean, I've always loved being alive. Like, and I don't know how else to say that because it sounds
Yeah.
simple to say, but like, I've just always been excited about life. Like, my dad used to say, I said, we're gonna have a whole podcast episode on dad because I have a lot of my father, but My dad, always say he never understood why people ever got bored being a human being when there's so many interesting people to meet, when there's so many new things to try. Like you can really take your life and run with it. If you make the decision that no matter what comes, I'm going to hold strong, I'm going to ground myself, and I trust myself to be embarrassed, to fail, to try again, to do good, to like feel awkward, to wave at that random person on the street and have someone walk right by you. Like we got to lean in. Like life is already happening. It's already going fast. We all know that. If you're listening to this podcast, you might be thinking, when is this over? Because I got this other thing to do, right? But like we need to stay present. We need to fulfill those moments that light our soul up. Like it's the only way we have enriching full lives is when we
Amen.
take responsibility.
Amen. And I say it all
Sorry,
the
I'll get down
time.
from my
No,
soapbox.
no, keep going. I say it all the time. I mean, if the world had a little bit more kindness, the world would be such a better place. I mean, just saying hi to a stranger could completely change someone's day, week, or even year completely. Like it could be a complete new outlook for them.
It could change how they think about strangers and people. Like they could be nicer to strangers moving forward.
Yeah. I mean, I have this sticky note on my computer. I've had it here since I opened the company, and it says, everyone in life has a sign on their head that says, make me feel important. And I think that like that is to kind of tie the things that the stories that you've just shared in this podcast together. Like, I think that kind of hits the nail on the head. It's let's notice everybody. Let's at Zenergy, we just so happen to do that on a bike in a loud room with crazy music, and people probably think we've lost our minds, but it works. It works. I know it's sometimes hard to look ahead, but do you have anything coming up in the near future? Are you doing any festivals? Are you like, I know you just did you saw the Halloween show in Pittsburgh. Yeah. Like, do you have any music that you're looking forward to in the near future? Any experiences that you and your partner are going on together or anything?
Yeah. I mean, literally always. Obviously, we're still planning our wedding. So that's going to happen next year. And funny enough, and I haven't like talked to too many people at the studio around this, we're doing a festival themed wedding basically. So
No way.
we're doing Wedstock. It's like out in a field on his sister's property. There's going to be food trucks, a VIP camping area. Like it's a whole thing.
That's so fun.
I know. So we're really excited.
Like
we're still putting our time into
that is so
that.
uniquely you all that is like perfect.
Right?
Perfect.
Nail on the head. I know.
Nail on the head.
But then, we always have music. So like this weekend, I'm going to see Second Contact. It's a 2-night Zed's Dead show. They're one of my favorite artists. Hijinks Fest at the end of the year, New Year's Eve in Philly. I'm pumped because Grizz is there. I just saw Grizz return to the stage at 7 Stars, the music festival he just put on. We'll probably do Electric Forest next year. Like there's always something. And honestly, we are very like active in the EDM community in Pittsburgh. So whenever you see EDM shows in Pittsburgh, if you're around here, come find us. We're the tall, dirty blondes, losing our minds, dancing like crazy people.
Listen, you're the one to go with. So everyone needs to. Where can people find you on social media?
Yeah, no, it's a guaranteed good time if you come to a show with me. But I have Instagram, so you can find me there. It's my first name, Kenzie, and then Skye with 2 E's. I have instructor Zenergy cycling in my profile. So please find me and connect with me. I share a lot of the music that I play in class
and it's so good. It's so fun. It's
so
fun. So fun. I love it. Well, listen, I have had a joy talking to you, and I appreciate you sharing your story, sharing. There's so much. I feel like I knew you, and now I'm like, wait, I actually didn't know Kenzie that well. So it's been inspiring. It's been breathtaking at moments to hear just kind of where the journey has led you. And I know I can speak for everyone saying we're so grateful to have you on the team, so grateful that you're on the podium, and I cannot wait to keep supporting you in all of your endeavors and in everything that you need.
I appreciate that so much. Like even this chance to like sit down and talk, like we have this world where we live in a world of like short form content all the time. Like even you as like, you're a businessman, so like you're finding ways to capture people's attention on social media and things. But like this I love because I think like we all come with so much and we forget what's under the layers. Because I do feel like you and I knew each other a little bit, but like this is one of those chances where like you really peel the onion
like
back.
Peel it back. Yeah,
exactly.
Yeah.
Like what's in there. And I truly love Zenergy, and like the fact that you saw me and Madison at the studio saw me when I raised my hand and I said, I want to be part of this. to give. I got music to give, like, put me in, coach. And then I got the chance. Like, I love the person and the version of myself that I get to be. And a big part of that, I think, has been this year, not only the traumas, the trials and tribulations, but like having a new sense of purpose and like getting to be this version of myself that I didn't know I was going to turn into. And I love her. I love her so much.
We do too. So don't ever change that. Don't ever change that. Well, listen, anything else you want to share with the people listening or watching?
You know, I do have one thing I want to
Yeah.
share because I think when we talk about like this subject, riding through storms and things, like I know that there are people listening who are relating to this because they're going through something hard, something heavy, something they don't share, and it weighs on them. So I think I just, want to say for anyone like carrying that storm with them, it's easy for me to sit here and say the things that a lot of people say, which is like, you're not alone, lean on others. But I think much more practical and honest advice is don't be afraid of the person that you are when times are hard and things are uncertain. Don't be afraid to be a mess, cry, laugh, not know what you need from people, because just like music and songs change for us over time, like your perception of your storm is going to change over time too. It's going to change you as a person. Just let it. Like, just let it. Like, I decided to be open and honest today because we deserve to live our truths, all of us, no matter what it is we carry. Because no matter how hard it is, we can come to places and connect in places like Zenergy and let other strong people lift us up. Like, the world has a lot of energy to give us. And that's not me saying like, lean on everyone around you. Just be open to it. Like, be open to love, like be open to the mess, like give yourself permission. And like those storm clouds will start to go away.
Could not have said it better myself. Literally could not have said it better myself. My friend, it is always a pleasure to talk to you. Thank you so much. And if you're listening, if you're watching, please go take Kenzie's class. She's at our East Liberty studio. I know she would love to have you. You're going to have a party of a time, the festival on the bike.
That's what it is. There's my tagline, Nick.
There you go. The festival on the bike. There you go. Trademark it now. It's all yours. Amazing, friend. Well, thank you so much. I appreciate you, and I hope to chat with you soon.
This was so wonderful. Thank you.
Of course. Bye, friend.
Bye, everyone.